Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Excel Radio's Ask the Expert. Brought to you by Beck Shot Photography and Video. It's your story, make it awesome. For more information, go to beckshot.com. Now, here's your host.
Hello, everybody. Senors and senoritas, welcome to the program. It's Ask the Expert with Robert Mason and Randy Beck. And today's guest is Jared Rhodenizer.
Hello.
Hi, Jared.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We have got we're loaded for bear with questions for you.
Awesome.
Jared's here today to talk about digital marketing, the back end, how we make this work once we shoot our social media video or make our posts or we decide we want to run a paid ad to promote our business. Before we start, Robert, what's your week been like?
It's been a good week. My birthday was yesterday. I'm negotiating 2 contracts today as I speak.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from Beckshot. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. My wife made it special, and then the dogs ruined it by being in the bed last night when I went there. So we'll get into that later.
And give us an encapsulation. Robert Mason's deal is?
Robert Mason has been a realtor for 32 years. I'm a real estate broker as well. I've had my own real estate company. I've sold my own real estate company. And, this radio program with you, Randy, is special because you're a big part of my business already in the videography and all the stuff that you do for me. So I'm super pleased to be doing this with you. This is our maiden voyage.
Maiden voyage on Ask the Expert. That's right. This is episode 1.
This is episode 1, and we have a real expert with us who's going to give us all the insight.
And Jared, introduce yourself. Tell people what's your deal.
So my name is Jared Rhodenizer. I am a digital marketer. I own 2 companies, carsonjames.com, LLC, and Horse TV. Essentially, in a nutshell, we train people how to train their horses through online media, books. We have MP3 players that people can listen to while they're training their horse that tells them step by step what to do. We have video libraries, subscriptions, and all kinds of stuff in the horse niche. But I've also done other things. We did real estate marketing, a lot of horse stuff, and basically anything that you can teach someone how to do through video. I can show you how to sell it and sell a lot of it. So
that's very interesting.
That's what I do.
And I like that, your Horse TV and you've got this operation that's oriented around horses. And Robert here said he called us a rodeo today instead of radio.
A rodeo.
I like that.
It might be a rodeo. We'll see how it
There'll
goes.
be a few play on words before it's all said and done, right? Before just to get it out there.
That's what you call the truth slipping right out.
Yep.
All right. So tell us about Horse TV a little bit.
So it's essentially Netflix for horse people. It's the same exact platform. We have the web, the apps, Apple, Roku, all that, but it's only horse content. So it's documentaries, movies, TV shows. We produce our own content. I have my own reality show on there. And then we also license a lot of other content as well.
Mm-hmm. And the methods we're talking about selling here that we're talking about through the digital medium is something you use to grow this channel?
Yes, more so the Carson James company that has more funnels and more intricate ways of getting customers.
Okay.
Horse TV is pretty straightforward. Carson James is much more interesting as it pertains to getting customers and selling people. So
Carson James does what?
We have an online subscription at buckaroocrew.com, and people pay $20 a month and they get access to all of our courses. So we have 12 courses, and each course has anywhere between 20 to 40 videos in it. And each course has a specific method of teaching your horse how to do a certain thing, such as groundwork, problem solving, advanced riding, fundamental riding, which is like just the basics of what everyone should know how to do to ride a horse, things like that.
Okay. And you're using what kind of techniques to push this out and sell it and get people interested?
So there's lead magnets, tripwires, upsells, core offers, and profit maximizers.
I think we're going to have to define terms here.
Man, that's a mouthful right
It can
there.
go deep. So essentially,
go slow.
Okay.
What did they say in that movie about Wall Street? Speak as if you were speaking to a golden retriever or a very young child.
Okay. So it's how the funnel works is you want to start with content marketing, which is essentially giving away your best stuff for free. And a lot of people get concerned with that because they think, well, if I give away my best stuff for free, then no one's ever going to want to buy anything. But it makes sense that people think that, but that's actually the exact opposite. You want to put your best foot forward, and that will cause people to buy things. And if they like your free stuff, they're going to like your stuff. They're going to buy stuff from you, and they're going to be happy to pay for it. But the problem that I think a lot of people have is they say, well, I'm going to give away my kind of mediocre stuff because I don't want to give away my best stuff. You want to give away your best stuff and then give them even better stuff too when they sign up. All of your stuff you produce should be your best stuff.
So nothing we're going to say today should stop anybody from continuing to develop their content and their messaging.
No, absolutely not. So the way the funnel works is through I would say 90% of everything that we do is through Facebook ads, because that's where our customers are. So you have to identify, if you have a younger audience, Instagram and TikTok is going to be where you want to go. But most of our people are 40 and over, and those people are mostly on Facebook. So that's where we mostly advertise, is on Facebook, because that's where our customers are at. So you start off with content marketing. We'll put up a video or a blog post, or we have a podcast as well. We'll put up a podcast episode, and we just we pay to blast that out for free. And we target people who are in the horse niche and get everyone to consume the content. And then
so an example of that content would be what?
So, a video on how to train your horse not to be buddy sour, which means he always wants to be with the other horse instead of paying attention to what you're wanting to do.
So you would have this video on that, and you're putting that like on Facebook.
Yes.
So people can just watch it.
There's two ways to do it. You can upload it to your website and send people over to your website, or you can upload it to Facebook and they can watch it on Facebook. Okay. The benefit of uploading the video directly to Facebook is that people are automatically pixeled who watch that video. So everybody that watches that video on Facebook creates an audience automatically. So even if you don't know what you're doing, you can always go back and create this audience later. They'll create this audience, and then you can go and retarget those people with other ads. So the goal is to get people to consume the content and pixel those people, cookie them through the Facebook pixel, and then go back later and reach out to them and get them to buy a low ticket offer. And see what a lot of people, and that's called a tripwire. A lot of people mess up because they sell their core offer, their core thing directly to Facebook. And that will work if it's a good product and your marketing is good, but you're missing out on a lot of revenue by going straight from just your core thing, your most expensive thing. So a tripwire, so after you've content pixeled them through your videos or your podcast or whatever, it doesn't matter. People get caught up on the medium too. It doesn't matter as long as it's good. It can be a podcast, a blog post, a video, anything, PDF file, as long as it's good. And then what you want to do is you want to take your core offer. So our core offer is our subscription, which is $20 a month, and they get all the courses. So what we do is we take what I call a splinter of that, and we take a piece of it and make that a tripwire. So we'll take one course and sell it for something ridiculous. For instance, we have our entire problem-solving course, which I believe is 42 videos right now. We sell that for $4. $4. You get 42, and they're good videos for $4. And that sells like crazy. And then we have an order bump on the page where people can add an option to their cart where they can get a digital copy of our book for $10. So 50% of people take that offer for the $10. So that's another $5. So when you take the $4 you made, and then you take the 50% of people who buy the $10 book as a bump, that is an average order value of $9. And it takes about anywhere between $5 and $10 to acquire a customer through Facebook ads. So essentially you're breaking even on your tripwires. But that's fine because A, you've got a lead, you have a new contact on your email list. B, they've bought something. Somebody who's bought something from you, even if it's cheap, just like $1 or $4, is a much better and more qualified lead than someone who just opted in for a free giveaway. If they've spent money with you, if they've opened their wallet to you, it's a lot better of a customer. And so then immediately after they buy the Tripwire, this $4 course, we have this presentation. It's a video presentation with a one-click upsell, which is a button directly under the video where they don't have to enter their credit card information again. They can just, if they want to add it to their order, they can just click the button and it charges their card and puts them on a subscription. So in this video, we say, hey, the course you just got, congratulations on your order. Thank you for doing that. You're going to love it. By the way, wanted to let you know that we have these additional 11 courses and you can get access to all of them for just $20 a month. And 30% of people on average take that. So we have broke even on the front end. We haven't spent any money because we made all the money back from the Tripwire sale for $4 and the order bump for $5. So we made our money back on our Facebook ad spend. And now we're getting members for free. We're paying nothing to get people to subscribe for $20 a month.
So the order, before we go further, the order is you put up this content.
Yeah.
The teaser, a good piece.
Yes.
They're watching that.
Yes.
Then they're hit by an ad
Yeah.
that says you can get another piece for this $4. That's the Tripwire.
Yes.
Okay. And then
the other piece is not necessarily content. It's an actual course. An actual course, right.
So they get a piece of the course for $4.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Yeah.
And then after they've done that, then they get an offer for the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can break down whatever product you have, no matter what, even if it's a service industry, you can break it down into different splinters. It's all about taking your thing and breaking it down a little bit more and a little bit more. And you start off and then you just build up. And then once they subscribe to our membership program, we pitch them what we call our profit maximizer. And that is a one-time payment of $97. And that is an MP3 player that they can buy. And they actually wear it while they're training their horse. And it talks to them and tells them what to do step by step. And that comes with an 84-page PDF file that gives them written instructions. And they also get videos to show them how to do it. And then these are additional videos to the videos they just got in the course. So it's additional videos that go directly with the MP3 player that show them demonstrations of how to do what the MP3 player is going to be telling them to do while they're training their horse.
How did you get started in this?
So I started off working for a company and we did, ironically enough, we developed tools for real estate agents to do marketing. So I was in charge of sales and marketing there at a company, and I invented a product for them called the Facebook Lead Generator. And that was a product that taught real estate agents how to run Facebook ads and get leads through a free home value opt-in form. And that blew up and went crazy out of the water. And the guy I work for, he's still to this day probably the smartest guy I know when it comes to sales and marketing, taught me all of this. And so after working for him for 2 years, I was essentially running his company. And then I wanted to do something on my own. And my brother Carson has always been phenomenal with horses, but he was a nobody. I mean, no one knew who he was. I think he had $40 to his name. And I went up to him and I said, hey, I have an idea. Can I film some videos of you? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. So we set out and we started and we filmed 10 videos. I believe it was the first time we ever filmed. We filmed 10 videos and I put those videos on a DVD because this was back when DVDs were still relevant and people were buying them. And to my knowledge, we were the first people that did this. And then I sold the DVD on Facebook for $4.95. So the offer was, it's a free DVD. You just pay $4.95 and that covered the shipping and handling of the DVD. And I believe the first year we did over $1 million because it was the same, and it was the same concept. We just now, since DVDs are not really that relevant, we've moved to selling the digital courses. But even back then we would sell the DVD and then we would do the upsell, which was the membership site. And we have just created hundreds of thousands of videos since that day.
So in today's security breaches and stuff like that, how do you keep your information secure from being stolen, copied?
You mean like people ripping us off?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't. People every single day, since I'm in that niche, I see all the ads for everyone. I'll put up something, and like a week later, I went through a funnel one time where someone had copied like almost verbatim every single thing I had written, all the graphics and everything. It was insane. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I could get into attorneys and do all that, but at the end of the day, those people aren't as good as I am, and I'm going to come out with something better, and they're never going to keep up with me. They're never going to catch me.
Right.
So I just ignore them. I don't care.
And no matter what you do, at the end of the day, they can just play it on their machine and screen record it, and then they've got it no matter what. Because once it's displayed on a screen, you can record.
Right. But the other part of it is that I don't just say it because Carson's my brother or whatever. Carson is probably one of the top horse trainers in the entire world. He is phenomenal. Hardly anyone is going to be as good as he is. And he's no one as personable as he is either, and as good of a teacher. So we have a really good combination where I'm really good at what I do and he's phenomenal at what he does. And we just have that winning combination. And a lot of people aren't going to have that. You might have a really good horse trainer, but your marketing guy sucks, or you might have, vice versa. So,
yeah. So let's talk mechanics for a minute. All right. So now that we understand this process, so you're going to put this first piece of content onto, let's say, Facebook. Mm-hmm. And so where? In a group? On your own page?
On ads.
On ads.
So you have to have in order to run ads on Facebook, you have to have a business page. You can't run ads from your personal profile. Okay. So you have to have a business page. And then you just go to Facebook.
So you're paying for ads?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. People, and that's the thing, we kind of talked about it before this interview started. We briefly mentioned it. There's a difference in people running social media and people running paid ads. A lot of people think that if they put something up on their Facebook or their InstaWeb or whatever, that's how they're going to sell and that's how they're going to get customers. But Facebook is very much pay to play. If you don't, I used to have a Facebook page that had 500,000 people on it. And every time I would post something, it would get 1 million likes. Well, Facebook didn't like that because a lot of people were doing it. So they have completely changed their algorithm where it is. I mean, we have right now on the Carson James page, I think we have 175,000 likes or followers. But that doesn't mean anything anymore because only like 2 to 3% of your likes are going to see it. So it doesn't, Facebook likes mean absolutely nothing. If you're going to get your ad or your content out in front of people, you have to pay for it. You just have to.
So let's use Robert as an example. If you said, okay, you're putting up videos for your real estate practice and you're getting calls from potential clients and so forth. So let's say he wanted to broaden that, right? Mm-hmm. And not, get a lot more reach than he's just getting right now from putting it on his page.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? I mean, paid ads, yes, but what does that mean? How do you target the person you want?
Facebook, at least they used to. I haven't done real estate ads in a long time, but when I used to, they used to have a category called likely to move, and that was gold. And I don't know.
Likely to move.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
I don't even know how Facebook knows that, but it worked.
Well, isn't that their connection with like data mining?
Yeah,
I'm sure use big data, don't
right,
they?
Of course. Yeah. I just don't know the specifics of how they got that information, but yeah.
So are there? Obviously, that was like a preset, a profile that you can just choose off
when
of
you
a
go,
list. Or?
Yeah, when you go in Facebook and there's a thing called targeting, and you just type in who you want to target,
age, where they're at, because I've done a lot of that as well. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of it, but yeah, you can target by age, sex. What is your, do you want to be within a 50-mile radius? Mm-hmm. You can go to other cities and things like that.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good.
It's interesting too, because we advertise globally all over the world, mainly in the United States, but our ads reach other places. But if you're focused on an area, let's just say we're in Woodstock and you wanted to be Woodstock and within 50 miles, it's a lot cheaper to run ads because you're only trying to reach so many people, and it's a lot easier to get your ads out there and get more people to see them because there's only so many people within a 50-mile radius of Facebook. Of Woodstock.
And you can also break it down by how much you're going to want to spend.
Yes.
Like if you're going to spend $100 a day or a week or whatever it is, it tells you, the algorithm tells you how many you're going to reach.
So it sounds like, the basic old marketing question of who's your customer, right? You got to know who it is you wanting to reach, right?
I thought
you got to know what that person looks like.
I think that's one too, but
it's who's your daddy. Okay.
Yeah. Before you ever start out on any of this, you have to identify who your customer is. Like obviously if you're in real estate, you're probably not going to be targeting 18-year-olds.
Right.
So age would be a big contributing factor.
Well, Randy's already talked about the 18-year-olds. We've already covered this, right?
No, we haven't. We haven't got to the 18-year-olds yet. Okay, so you have this prime customer in mind. You run these paid ads. You target it.
Yes.
And now they watch this because they're seeing it pop up, right? It's a paid ad, but they're seeing it pop up. For them, it's free.
Right.
Okay, so they watch it. And then they get, at the end of it, they get this offer for the next piece.
Yes.
The tripwire. You
right.
Okay.
That's one way to do it.
Okay.
Another way to do it is webinars. Webinars work phenomenally. That's another way. We do tripwires and we do webinars.
Like StreamYard, or what are you talking about?
So a webinar, well, when I say webinar, it's essentially a presentation. It's a PowerPoint presentation that we do on Zoom. Last webinar we did, we had 4,000 registrants. And it costs about, if you're targeting your warm audience, so there's warm audiences and cold audience. A warm audience would be people who are familiar with you, which would be people who are on your email list, people who have visited your website, people who've watched your videos. They at least know who you are, people who've bought from you before. And you can create all of these audiences within Facebook. And then there's a cold audience, which I define as someone who has no idea who you are. Now, webinars are going to be a lot more expensive to get leads from your cold traffic. So once you've done this stuff that we talked about before with the content marketing and the tripwires, you're also, while you're doing all this, as people are going through these funnels and going through these pages on your website, they're all getting cookied and they're all getting into your Facebook custom audiences. So then once you've ran this, you can say, okay, I'm going to take all of these people who've interacted with all of this stuff I'm doing, and I'm going to target them for another ad. And then you can run webinars. And we were getting 40-cent webinar registration leads to our warm list last week when I did this, and it was crazy. So a webinar is essentially a PowerPoint presentation where it shows very good, valuable content, and then at the end there's some sort of a pitch. So the webinar we did recently was what was it? Oh, it was on trail riding, how to have a good trail ride and solve problem, or how to solve problems on the trail and have a good ride every time was the title. And then we have on the opt-in page, we have bullet points of what we're going to discuss, and then people can just sign up for the webinar. And on that webinar, Carson and I are on it together, and it shows our faces overlaid over a PowerPoint presentation that I put together. Carson tells me what to put, and I put it all together. And then he goes through. And when Carson's going through the webinar, it's phenomenal. I mean, he's giving away. It's not this thing where they get on and they get just a tiny bit of information and then it's all a big pitch. Like I said, the thing about this digital marketing thing is adding the value. So many people do not add the value, and then they're like, well, why don't I get sales? Because you don't teach anything, dude. Like, so it was probably an hour worth of value and then a 15-minute offer at the end. But see, an offer, and that's another thing, now that we're talking about offers, like I said, I could go all day on this. An offer is not, hey, go buy my core product. An offer is, hey, my core product is normally $20 a month, but if you buy it right here, it's $10 a month. Or an offer is, it's normally $20 a month and you don't get these bonuses, but if you sign up on this webinar, it's still $20 a month, but you get all of these free bonuses included if you sign up right now at this link. That's an offer.
So they'll get your book and your decal and a plastic cowboy hat and
whatever. So on this one, in this specific example, probably not plastic.
Lasts longer.
We did a The membership was $20 a month, but we did a 2-week trial, so they didn't have to pay anything for 2 weeks. And we actually have a trail riding course, and we gave them lifetime access to the trail riding course, even if they cancel their membership. You get it free just for trying out, just for signing up for a 2-week trial. And then we also gave them 3 free bonuses, which were 3 free, I call them pocket guides. They're little field guides that you can take with you, like while you're on the trail, and you can read and learn how to solve problems. So they got those as well. So that was our offer, and it converted, I think, at 30%.
Wait. Let me go back there a second. You're reading something while you're on
Well, not
horse.
while you're on your horse, but before you go. And you can take it with you. I mean, you could take a break and be like, oh, my horse is acting up. I wonder, there is a chapter about this. Oh, okay, here's what I need to do. Stuff like that.
So these are value adds.
Yes.
And so it sounds like this is sort of a high-tech way of doing what, the yes set that the sales trainers always talk about. Get them saying yes, and then eventually you get the big sale.
I guess. Yeah. I've never gone through any of that sales training. Okay. I follow, there's some core guys that teach this that I follow, and I just listen to what they say, and they're always coming out with new and improved ideas. And, that's another thing, just, we were talking about staying on top. So in marketing, in some ways, nothing ever changes, but in other ways, everything changes. So the technology changes and the platforms change and how you reach the people changes, but the way that people respond to advertising never changes. That always stays the same.
So social media trends are changing constantly. Yeah. How do you keep up? How do you keep track of the latest, social media changes?
I download the apps and play with them. Yeah. I mean, honestly, and I see how they work, and I mean, a lot of marketing is looking at what other people are doing, and if it's working. That's another thing. Don't look at people who aren't converting, but watching other people who are doing things and it's working, and then just not copying them directly, ripping them off, but saying, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here, and then twisting it into your own way of doing it. But if someone has never downloaded TikTok or hasn't ever, doesn't use the app, they're not going to know how to run TikTok ads or know what kind of ads convert on there. You have to, if you want to, advertise on those platforms, you have to be active on them and see what other people are doing and how the videos work and the videos that are successful and the ones that are not.
You've brought up TikTok now a couple of different times. Are you a proponent of TikTok? Because I get a lot of pushback from folks. Don't download TikTok, Chinese owned, your spyware and stuff like that. Is any of that true?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
If it makes me money, I'm going to use it.
Yeah, my daughter says the same thing. So I get warned off on TikTok.
That sounds like a
there's
philosophy.
There's so many. I don't even know how you know what's true anymore, because everyone says this is true and this is not true, and this. I mean, how do you know? You don't know anything.
So much disinformation out there. So
there's that Abraham Lincoln quote about not trusting everything you see on the internet. So.
Did he say that?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah.
It's attributed
on a cell phone too, right?
I think he tweeted
it. Was he in a balloon flying over America at the same time?
So I like the philosophy there. Use it if it makes you money, if it's moving you forward and achieving your goals. What's all the debate about, right? That's a philosophy right there, I think. But all right. So now people are going through this chain of events on Facebook, and you're saying they're being retargeted because of the cookies,
right?
So once you put your ads up, everybody that's looked at it, Facebook is ensuring that they see your next ad again. Is that how it works?
They're ensuring that they're pixeled, that that they have the potential to see it.
When you say pixeled, I'm imagining the Brady Bunch, all the faces showing up, and I think.
You didn't know that Brady Bunch invented Zoom, did you?
I didn't know that either.
Oh, that's true. Clever. So a pixel is essentially just a little tracking. They call it a cookie, but it's just a line of code that they put on your phone or your computer, and it doesn't get any of your personal information. It just allows you to reach those people again, to know, okay, this person's been to my website, or this person's been to a certain step on my website. So let's say, for example, someone bought the tripwire, but they didn't buy the upsell. They didn't buy the core product. You can say, okay, I want to target everyone who visited this page, which would be, or the thank you page, which would be the upsell page. So the thank you page of the tripwire is also the upsell page of the core offer. So you can say, I want to target everyone who bought the tripwire but did not purchase the core offer. And then you can run ads specifically to those people to just try to get them to buy your core offer, and vice versa. I want to target everyone who's bought the core offer but did not buy the profit maximizer, which we do that as well. So if they bought the membership and they're a paying subscriber, but they still haven't bought our $97 product, I want to target all those people to buy this. And it really does work really well when you do it that way, because if you're Ryan Dice, who owns digitalmarketer.com, he said it really good. He said a lot of people go in when it comes to marketing, and he uses this analogy. He says they walk up to a woman and they ask her to marry him. He said it doesn't work like that. You have to ask for coffee, and then you have to ask for a date, and then you have to, things have to evolve. So a lot of people are just trying to sell their $1,000 product on Facebook, and these people don't even know who you are. Mm-hmm. Take them out to coffee first. Introduce yourself first. People are just walking up to people in marketing and saying, "Hey, will you marry me?" I'm like, no.
Well, isn't that what branding is all about? I mean, when we talk about branding ourselves or branding, what we do, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to be seen time and time again. You have to build trust with your audience. That's what you're talking about, right?
Essentially, yeah. It's more about them than it is about you, though. If a lot of people mess up in branding, and I see it all the time, and no offense, but real estate agents are the worst. They'll have this huge ass sign with their picture on it, and the picture takes up 75% of the sign, and it has a phone number. That's not going to convert anybody. What if you had a sign that didn't have your picture on it that had an offer? It was like 1% commission rate if you call this number. I'm sure you can't really do that. I'm not a real estate agent, but having an ad with an offer on it is much more enticing to customers than branding and getting your name out there, because no one, at the end of the day, no one cares about you. No one cares about what you sell. No one even cares about your product. People only care about the result. That's all they care. They care about what they're going to get. And if you can feed into that, then you'll win.
Well, I'll give you an example. Some of the things that I've used before on Facebook in particular, because I get a good amount of business from Facebook, just my personal page, not even my business page. And I've paid for ads as well. When I offer a free appraisal or a free CMA, current market analysis, that tends to generate, I'll give a free, photography, coupon away or something like that.
Right.
We're going to talk about that too. Get ready, Randy. And,
might be free to your customer, but it's not going to be free to you.
It's going to cost me. But yeah, and it's funny how people chase the likes.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Oh, they liked it.
Yeah.
They like my picture of my food.
Right.
Or whatever the hell it is, right?
Right.
And you're missing the boat if you're trying to promote.
It's so a really good example. All real estate agents do the free market analysis, which is good. All roofers do the
analysis as well.
Yeah, the analysis. Oh, come out and get you a free roof review, whatever. But since everybody's doing that, I've always won by doing things that people are not doing, trying to get creative. For example, instead of running if I was a roofer, I would not run ads that say, "Hey, come out, let me free roof inspection." I would say, buy a roof with me and get all your gutters for free. And I would partner with, if I did the gutters myself, then I would obviously just handle it, or I would partner with a gutter person and pay them a certain amount of money. But that would be an offer, because that's more appealing than let me come out and tell you your roof needs to be replaced, because that's what I'm going to do, because that's what everyone does. That's why I'm trying to get in your house. People are not stupid. And people who advertise to people and think that people are stupid are not going to win much longer, because people are getting smarter and smarter and smarter. Everyone knows that when you run an ad to do a free roof inspection, what are they going to do? They're going to come out, and if your roof was just replaced last week, they're going to say, "Looks like you need a new roof."
Nope, looks good to me. Sorry, I wasted 3 hours.
So the more creative you can get with your offers, and that's what people miss. I don't think this. I see it because I study I look at ads. Magazine ads are really bad. You look at all these magazine ads, and it's just like a person's face and a phone number or a website. That doesn't. What incentive do people have to go visit your website? What is the purpose of that? put an offer on it. Give them an incentive to go to your website and to sign up or to buy from you. What do I get out of this? Mm-hmm. And if people would just start putting something that people can get when they take action on this ad, they would see a lot more success.
Now, apparently you've pixeled me because because your things keep showing up for me. And I saw this post that you did. And I don't know if you saw this, Robert.
And you just bought a horse too, so there's something going on.
And the barn. And so I don't know if you've seen this, but Jared had a post up the other day where he was talking about these offers and these ads that are going out. And you did like 20 different variations and, you know, A ramifrazitz with the D and cut off at the transverse roundbouter. And next thing you know, you knew what was selling and what wasn't. Right. So tell me a little bit about this testing that you do. I
split test 25 different ad headlines. So you use the same picture because you don't want the picture to have an influence. I'm just trying to see what headlines are going to get people to click. So I keep the picture the same. I keep everything the same. I just changed the headline, which is the bottom. If you look at a Facebook ad, it's the bottom part that's right above the learn more button that's always there, the big bold text. And I'm just testing it. I'm only spending like $25, but I'm seeing which of these headlines get the most click through rate. And then I'll take that winner and I'll use that and I'll spend a bunch of money on that. And then once I get the headline winner, I'll use that headline and then I'll split test the pictures. So I'll use 5 different pictures with that headline and see which one of those ads gets the most clicks. But the key is just not spending it doesn't take much money to do the testing. And then pretty soon you're going to have a winning combination of the headline, the picture. And then if you want to go even further, you can split test the ad copy after you have those 2 winners as well.
And so basically you're just finding out what people are responding to.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, and I knew I would find the tie-in between digital marketing and real estate today. While he's saying this about us testing, I'm envisioning Alec Baldwin up at the front of the room with his chalkboard, and he's like, A, B, T, always B, testing, right?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Testing is big.
And so do you have a group of folks that help you come up with your marketing or your materials?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I'm a member of, I follow a lot of the guys like Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Russell Brunson, which Russell Brunson owns ClickFunnels. And I follow a lot of their stuff and try to learn from them as much as possible. And I have a few, I shouldn't say I don't have anybody. The guy I used to work for, his name's Calvin. I talk to him probably once a month and we brainstorm some stuff and talk about what's working and what's not. So I do have a couple people.
Now, this series that we're doing is called Excel. We're really about business excellence, which obviously you've been achieving in a big way. And so following these people, was that the key to your success? Is that how you learned to excel, was by choosing these guys?
Yeah.
How did you pick them?
So the guy I work for, Calvin, he started off teaching me everything that Ryan Dice taught, who is the CEO of digitalmarketer.com. And his business partner, Perry Belcher, are kind of the guys, they didn't invent this, but they're kind of like some of the first to go at this whole funnel strategy. And Perry Belcher, speaking of him, is really, really interesting. He owns a company called Survival Life, and they do stuff exactly like we do. So they have a tripwire offer. Have you ever seen the little credit card knives that they look like a credit card, but they turn into a knife? So Perry Belcher, he has one. So Perry Belcher
Robert Mason's survivalist.
Yes, Perry Belcher is the one who invented that, and he owns a company called Survival Life, and he's got it right there in his pocket. And as soon as he sold, I don't remember how many of those he sold, but it was millions. And then as soon as you buy the credit card knife, there's an immediate upsell to buy another knife. And he calls it the Hoffman Richter, some fancy German name. It's a name that he made up. But you get this knife, and with the knife, you get a subscription to the Family Protection Association, which is a $20 a month subscription. And they send you once a month, you get the Lamplighter Report, which is all about homesteading, survival, and anything that anyone in that niche would be interested in. they have tripwires like how to grow a garden when you only have 5 square feet of land. So that's one of the things you can buy from them. So they're very, very good at splintering and upselling and cross-selling and everything like that.
Do you recall pricing on some of those things? Like what were those tripwires
credit
like?
card knife, I think, was $4.95. I think it was free plus $4.95 shipping. And then the Family Protection Association was $20 a month. Now I haven't looked at this in a long time, so it might have changed, but that's what it was when I was looking into it. And then you get the big knife for free. And it really is a quality. It's a good knife.
And so you started following these guys. You studied what they were doing.
Big knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a knife.
That's a knife. So you followed what they were doing. You were learning from them. And how'd you put this, like what made the difference for you? There's a lot of people that try things like this, right? But you succeeded really well. What made the difference?
Well, it's like I said in the beginning, you have to have good marketing, but you also have to have a good product. If you don't have a good product, then you can do all the marketing in the world and you'll sell some, but it's not going to be great, and vice versa. You have a really good product, but no one knows about it. No one's going to buy it. People have to know about it. I don't know, man. It was just working for those 2 years for Calvin really opened my eyes to the potential. And then I think before him, I worked for a guy named Brig Hart, who is he is the top money earner in the world, as far as I know, for direct sales marketing. He was like the lead at Amway. And then I don't know if you guys remember Montevi. He was like the top guy in Montevi. And I worked for him for a few years. And just being around, I mean, these guys had millions, drove Lamborghinis. I mean, their whole life was a party. Being around those guys really, really, really influenced me and made me like, damn, that's what I want this life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Big time.
Okay. Robert, you said you've done some of this. You did some marketing and advertising on Facebook. And what was that like for you? What did you do?
It was hit or miss. I wasn't focused enough. I wasn't consistent enough, which, that's part of all of our problems in life, in general. Facebook has been good to me on the, free side, as in I've got X amount of followers. In real estate, I think it's a little bit different. If people know know what kind of character you have, your honesty, they maybe went to school with me or they've done something.
Well, and there's a difference in a Facebook profile and a Facebook page. So if you have friends on your Facebook profile, those people obviously know you. They're the warmest traffic that you can have. They're the hottest leads in the world on your personal Facebook.
They're even volunteering, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are your friends. So absolutely.
And so in real estate, there was a lot of cold calling and there's a lot of training out there where, it's your sphere of influence and you got to connect with your sphere of influence. And I've been doing it so long and I've got so much just built up momentum there that, that kind of, it takes care of things.
And so you did paid ads, you said.
Did paid
ads. Did you get a
ads.
good response there?
No. And it was because probably I was not offering what you were talking about, something that was, why would somebody click on this? Why would somebody... Unless there's a real need and somebody sees it and go, oh yeah, I need to sell my house. Let's call this dude. I didn't create any urgency to connect and I just did it wrong. So.
Okay. So we got questions here.
Okay.
That have come in for you.
Oh, really?
One of them just jumping off the page at me because it involves video. It says,
okay,
because video content is becoming, popular on social media every day. Just leaps and bounds. How do you create effective video content that resonates with your client's target audience and drives engagement? In other words, you can't really split test video, right? Or can you?
You can.
How do you do that?
You can set up one audience and run 2 different videos and see which one gets the most engagement and the cheapest price per engagement. So Facebook has cost per through play and they also have cost per engagement. So if you just look at those numbers and see which one's cheaper, and obviously people like the cheaper video better because you're not paying as much to get it in front of people.
And let's define through play and engagement.
So through play would be they watch the videos. I think it's for 3 seconds or more, which really isn't qualified. So when you go to cookie people on Facebook, you can create audiences from people who've watched 3 seconds of your video, 10 seconds of your video, 50%, 75%, and 100%. Now, obviously, the longer they watch the video, the less people it's going to be. I don't generally target people who've watched 3 seconds of the video because to me that's not really a view. But that would be a through play, and then a engagement rate is just how many people are actually clicking to watch. So we put it in front of this many people. This is how many people engaged with the ad, clicked the play button, commented, liked, shared it, did something. And engagement is just doing something other than scrolling past it.
Right, than just seeing it and moving on.
Right.
Okay. And so if you run 2 versions like that and you split test it and you find the version that you want to use, then what? Is that video put out the same way, like with a paid ad and targeted the same way?
So I would come up with ideas, and that's the biggest thing is it all goes back to what I started with at the beginning is don't put out mediocre crap that people don't really care about that's going to not really solve a problem for them. Put out a video that like when people watch it, they're like, damn, that was good. Or that's exactly what I needed to hear. That's when you have a winner. And so you can get 3 to 4 ideas of what content that could be and then make videos on each one of those things and then put them in an ad set together and run them all together at the same time. And one of them's going to win.
So one of the things that Randy and I have been doing is we've been shooting videos, and basically we will get questions from the audience, whether
just like this,
right? And then we will go shoot a video on it, and anywhere from a minute to 90 seconds, and so because I pay him so much money for this, it needs to work, right? And so
fair statement,
but we hadn't even thought about putting those on a paid page. Have we? We didn't even talk about that.
So in terms of implementing your marketing program, no. But in terms of like determining what kinds of videos work, yes.
Yeah.
I've done some of that already, right? And so that's how we arrived at the format we're using and the type of thing that we're doing.
Right.
Is because I know that to be effective from doing this testing in other ways.
So this is a very good subject for not only us, particularly, but for anybody that wants to.
Well, good subject for anyone who wants to make money.
All 3 of us know each other. We all hang out in circles of business people, and everybody's out there marketing themselves on social media and trying to promote their business. And, they're coming in here to Business RadioX and working with Stone to do it. Stone is here today, everybody. By the way, say hi to Stone.
Hi, Stone.
And they're actively engaged in this process, right? So this is something that I think a lot of people need to hear from you.
Yeah, this is big.
Yeah, it's a good topic. That's the thing. Like anyone, especially if you can teach people how to do something in video, it's a lot easier. And I'll be honest, the real estate is one of the hardest ones. It really is because, well, you're a broker, so you kind of have a free pass. But most brokers, and maybe you can help spread awareness about this, are very, very against the methods I'm talking about today. They want it clean. They don't, we've never done that before. Or we can't do that, or you can't do that. If brokers would open up their agents and let them do some digital marketing type stuff with tripwires and funnels and stuff like this, we would see a huge boom in the real estate, but everyone does it the exact same way.
Well, there's also this feeling that the brokers don't want to share the secret sauce with everybody, right? So I come from a position of abundance. I like to be a teacher and to help. The other agent number 1, 2, 3 are not my competition, and if they are, whatever, best guy wins, right?
Right.
But you'll also find that in the real estate world, we are the cheapest bunch of folks on the planet as well, right, Randy?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, it's a fact.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with we never know when we're going to get paid. We don't have a salary.
Right.
It's just a difficult gig, but this is fascinating.
Well, and I'm a broker too, although I'm not in real estate anymore, but my industry is related and still, involved in real estate in some ways. And I had a friend back in Virginia Beach. His name was John. And his take was slightly more cynical than yours because he, at the time, this is back in the days of pagers.
Yeah.
And
pagers.
Before light.
And when you would pull up in front of one of his listings, it would say, text this number for more information. when you did, the system would send you a text with information on the house, but it also page him with your phone number.
Right.
And he would call this person right in front of the house and say, I see you're at, 955 Coleman Street. And, what can I tell you about the house? How can I help you? Would you like to go in and see it? We can send somebody over, all this, sort of thing. And, I was like, John, that's a really good system. I bet you're kind of secretive with this, right? Like you don't want this to get out too much. He says, no, I'll tell anybody. He says, nobody's going to do anything with it most of the time anyway. And if they do, there's enough business for both of us.
There is. It really is.
That's what I've bought and sold a lot of properties. And if I had one thing that I could tell every real estate agent that would immediately just boost their sales is answer your phone.
Right.
That's the hardest thing to do. It's ringing all the time.
But you know what? There's a problem with that. We get so much ads, so many people calling my phone, caller ID is wonderful. But when the number's a 1888, or it's out of state, and 99 out of 100, if you answer it, it's going to be
spam.
It's a spam. Somebody's trying to sell you something.
Right.
And so you get frustrated. So you don't answer your phone.
But would it be worth it for agents to invest in a call screener and pay them just to screen calls?
If you have a number of calls coming in. I mean, most agents sell 2 houses in a year.
Yeah. Well, if they're having the problem like you're having where they're getting 100 calls a day, I would think buying or paying someone to screen your calls and immediately be able to transfer that call to you and you knew if it was from that number, it's your call screener. So this is a good lead. That would be a really good investment.
Well, I'm with EXP. So when you look at my phone number on a listing, it's got the EXP number and it goes through a call center. It does not come straight to my cell phone.
Okay.
Unless I put my cell phone number in there directly, which I do, because people will want to text you.
Yeah.
And if you text a landline, you get that dumb message.
Right.
Right. You can't text a landline.
Right. I think for the younger generation, just putting your name and saying, text me to find out about this house and being really vague about it would do really, really well. The more fancier you try to get with your copywriting, generally the worse it gets.
Simplest is best.
Simple.
That's why AI is making such waves in copywriting right now.
So many people.
It doesn't have to be complex. It's just got to be correct.
You go to their website and it says at so-and-so real estate, or I'm going to stop picking on real estate, at so-and-so roofing, we pride ourselves on having the utmost outstanding. No one buys that bullshit and no one gives a shit.
No one cares.
Say, hey, my name's so-and-so and I own this company. And be real. The more real that you can get in your bio and sound, the less corporate you can sound, the more people you're going to get to buy from you. And so everybody's website says the same thing. We pride ourselves in blah, blah, blah. We've been in business since. No one gives a shit how long you've been in business. How much money are you going to make me? How much can I sell my house for? How much is it going to cost me to get a new roof? And are you a good person?
Well, it's very interesting. It's about being real.
Right.
Being real on social media is so very important. I see so much cheesy stuff out there.
There's so much cheesy stuff on social media.
At Beckshot, we subvert dominant communication paradigms through technologically enhanced infrastructure and by leveraging industry best practices.
You lost me 10 seconds ago, man, at Beckshot.
So this is something they teach you at business school when you get your MBA, right?
That's how people write their websites. And
yes,
no one, and you think, oh, well, I just don't, and people don't put themselves in other people's shoes. Like, well, I don't relate to it, but most people, no, if you don't relate to it, neither does anybody else.
Right.
If it wouldn't sell you or you're not intrigued by it or you think it's boring, guess what? So does everybody else.
Well, I misspell things on purpose.
You should.
It makes me real.
It's brilliant. I misspell things in our ads all the time because you know what? People comment and they'll correct me. And every time someone comments on an ad, even though you're paying for it, the more engagement that ad gets, the less you're going to spend to pay to get it out there.
That's an engagement. That's an engagement.
It's an engagement.
I've been doing this for years and people just think I'm... Yeah.
They think you're illiterate. But
they think I went to the University of Georgia, which,
I did. Yeah. People comment and correct your spelling errors. Guess what? That's only helping
driving up your engagement, right?
It's only driving your engagement.
There's more school teachers on Facebook than...
That's smart. That's good.
Okay. Follow-up question here. So let's say that somebody's listening to this and they're like, oh, that is for me.
Yeah.
Right? And so they're like, now I got to make this content so Jared can put it out there and you know.
Yeah.
creating a social media strategy for this client. Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
Well, you go through the steps. First, I mean, if you're wanting to have a social media strategy, you probably, everyone, I mean, I would think would have a core offer, which is the core offer is essentially just the main thing you sell. So you say, okay, this is the thing I sell. Mm-hmm. The next step is to figure out your splinters. Okay, how can I break off a piece of this to sell? And then how can I break off a piece of this to give away as content?
Right. And so that was what we were talking about a minute ago with the tripwire.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I'm thinking this question is a little bit more like, how do I make good content to do that with? Like you say you want to break this up and use a piece of this. What is this? How do you arrive at this?
If you don't know, ask your customers. Send an email. Facebook groups are very valuable too. We have a Facebook group. Everyone should have a Facebook group. Now in your Facebook group, you can actually tag everyone at the same time by typing @everyone, and it sends a notification to everyone in the group to go look at your post. So that's pretty valuable. But I would just say ask people. If you have an email list already, send out an email. If you're just getting started, ask your potential customers and say, hey, what's the biggest question you have? What's the biggest problem you're trying to solve? What do you struggle with the most? And then there you have it, and answer it. And that's when it comes to not being afraid to give away your best stuff. Because if they have, and you'll find common denominators with everybody. Like with the horse niche, the buddy sour thing is the biggest problem. It's the easiest fix, but for some reason, it's the biggest problem that everyone has, and that's what everyone wants to learn how to fix. So whenever we put out something with how to fix a buddy sour horse, it just goes crazy because that's what people want. I don't know why. It's an easy fix, but it's what people want. And a lot of times, if you get biased, you're like, well, this is not what they want. This is what I think they want. You're going to mess up. You got to make sure it's something that they actually are having a problem with and want answers to. So if you're a roofer, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
If you're a roofer, an example would be put out content that says how to look at your roof and know in 5 minutes whether or not it needs to be replaced. And then do a video of you up on the roof and showing examples of, hey, if you've got this problem, you probably, this means this and this, and it's educational. This means that you have this problem and this problem. And if this could cause a potential leak, that would be an example of really good content that you could put out. If you're a real estate agent, you could put out content about, hey, here's an example of really bad listing pictures, and here's an example of really good listing pictures.
I've done that one.
And showing and talking about what makes them bad and what makes them good. Here's an example of a really good staged home. Here's an example of a home that's not staged well at all.
I've done that one too.
Yeah, and here's why staging your house can get you more money. And education. And asking people, what is your top concerns about selling your house, and then addressing them.
Well, that's with those videos that you and I are doing. That's exactly what we're doing.
And those questions are derived that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the real questions.
And because you like the Ask the Expert format, we're framing it in an educational, we're hanging your content in an educational frame.
Right.
Right. Because that's good for your client and builds your expertise.
Right.
Right.
If the goal is always to help people, just help people first and then worry about making sales. You'll make the sales.
That is just such an awesome wrap up.
Yeah.
Everybody forgets that, but that's really the rule, isn't it?
The more people that you help in their journey, the better off that you're going to be morally, with integrity, and the better your life is going to be. And that is a real thing.
Well, we were talking about branding earlier and making, getting your brand out there. Oh, what better way can you build a brand than helping people before you get paid?
Yeah.
That's the way to build a brand.
Sure is. Yeah. We have covered a lot of ground. This is gold. This is gold today. I hope you're listening out there. Okay, before we wrap up, Jared, Robertson Real Estate, I'm a content creator.
Yes.
You know what? You're the expert today. If you had one piece of advice for each of us, what would it be?
I think I've shared it all.
Oh, we got all the good stuff.
Yeah.
How about for Stone?
I don't, the one piece of advice, not to you guys specifically, but to everybody, is stop looking at what everyone else is doing and trying to copy it. Like the website example, writing all corporate, be real and just talk to people. And we even go so far as like sometimes we'll say, hey, on this webinar, we're going to cover a lot of content. And at the end, we're going to pitch you something. Just tell people. Mm-hmm. Be honest and upfront.
Why not? They know you're going to do it.
They know you're going to do it anyway. And it makes you real.
Right.
You're like, and sometimes I've even seen this. I haven't tried it yet, but in ads, I've seen, hey, this is an ad and I'm about to sell you something, but let me tell you why it's okay. Or, it's up front. It's real.
Or why it matters.
And why it matters. Yeah, people appreciate the real and the non-corporate. I'm dealing with a person. I'm not dealing with a logo.
Mm-hmm. And it's not mechanical.
Right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Robert? Anything to add? Any thoughts?
God, I could go on forever and ever.
And you do.
Sometimes I do, yeah. I mean, this has been fantastic, and this is our opening salvo, and wow, what a guest.
It's only Jared advised us to only make it better each time.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to do.
Yeah. And you're my content guy, so it's up to you.
It's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about
shoulders
that.
this sits on.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I love talking about this stuff, man.
Yeah.
Anytime.
And as do I, but obviously not from the same perspective as you do.
Yeah.
But a lot to learn here.
Right.
And open up the whole new world of reach and engagement, right?
Well, that was a macro dive. I mean, we came in from 55,000 feet on that subject matter. And
we could go a lot deeper.
Detail can get a lot. Yeah. I mean, that was a shotgun blast. I mean, you could sniper scope this stuff down and really and get into it. So thank you.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.
Great. Enjoyed it a lot. Jared Rhodenizer, Horse TV, and Carson James, Robert Mason, eXp Realty. See you next time.